फोटो देखी थी मैंने कल, देखी थी आपने? हाँ, अभी तक इसका okay, please be attentive to that one. Mic देंगे तो ना बोलना। अब मैंने A1 की क्लास 10 मिनट विदाउट माइक की किसी ने असर यार कोई ट्रेड में भी देना। Okay. Today we are going to start the credit multiplier or money multiplier. What is meant by the money multiplier? Basically, the commercial banks, they create money whenever they are accepting the deposits. Okay. Last day we were talking about what are the functions of a commercial bank. Basically, commercial bank that is going to accept deposits first of all, and then by using those deposits it is going to extend loans which are called advances in the banking language. Advances means the loans. Now these loans are extended to the borrowers. So how commercial bank can create more credits or more loans by using those deposits? This depends upon their credit multiplier or money multiplier. This is called a credit multiplier or money multiplier. Previously we had studied macroeconomic multiplier in the form of withdrawals of the economy. As the withdrawals are lower and lower, then we will be having more and more value of multiplier. But here the case is that when we find the reserves, when we find the deposits, they will be used to extend loans actually. And how these loans are extended in the market, this is by the way of multiplier. Now keep it in mind, what is the credit multiplier? This is also denoted by K. This is called change in money supply. Change in money supply in the economy, in the money market, due to change in deposits. Initial deposit, whatever the deposit is there. Suppose there is a deposit of 1000 rupees. 1000 rupees are deposited in the market and money supply has changed by 10,000. So the credit multiplier or money multiplier value is 10. How this 10 value is coming, we are going to study today this value, how to have this value. Keep in mind, when any of the commercial bank is having more liquid cash, liquidity of commercial bank, if it is increasing, that shows it has lower profitability. Profitability is lower if there is more liquidity with the bank. So I say liquidity of cash, if it increases, then our profitability will fall. If bank is having more liquid cash available, it is not advanced, it is not given in the form of loans or advances, its profitability will decrease. So what commercial bank is going to do? Commercial bank is going to reduce its liquidity, then its profitability will increase. This is the main phenomenon working behind. Commercial bank does not want to keep the liquid cash with it, because whatever the depositors it is going to accept, they are the liabilities of the commercial bank to be paid back to the depositors along with interest. And if it is unable to extend loans, then definitely it is going to have a problem in the future of being default with the depositors, because whatever the money was deposited with the bank, it will be returned with interest, and if none of the loan is extended, then its profitability will decrease and its liabilities are going to rise. And when liabilities are more than the assets, then definitely it will be creating a default problem for the commercial bank. So it does not want to keep more of the liquid cash, rather it is going to extend loans. Now how? What do you think? If there is a deposit of 1000 rupees, how commercial bank will be extending loan? Do you think all of that money will be extended in the form of loan, or some of the cash will be kept by the commercial bank? Here I am taking deposit. Here I am taking the reserves at the rate of 10%. And here I am taking the loans. Now see what is happening. This reserve ratio, basically it is set by the central bank. This is 10% of every deposit. Like if someone has deposited money 1000 rupees with the bank, for simplicity I am taking this less amount of deposit. Now 100 rupees, which is the 10% of 1000, that is kept as reserve by the commercial bank, and remaining 900 they are given as loan. Okay. Why commercial bank is keeping this reserve money with it? The reason is whenever the depositors are coming to withdraw their cash, there should be some liquidity available with the commercial bank to meet the demands of those depositors that they need their cash back. So the bank should be keeping some liquid ratio, some of the reserves with it, in order to fulfill the demands of the depositors whenever they want to withdraw their money which they had previously deposited. Now the rest of the money, bank is not keeping it as a liquid money. Bank will be advancing it in the form of a loan. Now if we see, bank is now giving this loan. Now the borrower is being asked to open his account with the bank in order to receive this loan. Another deposit will be created of 900. Now it is keeping again 90 as a reserve, and remaining 810 will be extended in the form of loan. Now we are assuming one thing. That whatever the loans are extended, they are redeposited within the banking channels of the country, that this money is again redeposited within the same bank or with any other bank. So if this deposit is being rechannelized, and every time bank is keeping 10% of reserve and remaining is given in the form of loan, so we see bank is keeping on extending loans until unless its reserves are equal to initial deposits of 1000 rupees. When these reserves are equal to the initial deposit, that is the point how many loans will be extended till that point. So every time bank was extending 90% of the loans of every deposit. So till the time when the reserves are equal to the deposits, the initial deposit, at that time we are going to have 9,000 of loans which are extended by the bank. So if I make a smaller balance sheet of this bank, what will be the balance sheet when we talk about? Here I am taking the assets, and here I am taking the liabilities. What are the liabilities? First of all, the initial deposit that was given to the bank in the form of 1000. Later on, it has created deposits equal to the amount of loans. Whenever anyone is going to borrow money, the bank is asking to that borrower to open an account with the bank. So what is the reserve now? Reserve is going to be the asset of this bank, like equal to initial deposit. Bank has they kept the reserve of 1000 rupees, and the loans, they are also the assets which are worth of 9000 rupees. Okay, so its balance sheet, if we look upon, it is balanced. So how many times bank has created money? That is 10 times. If we see, K is change in money supply due to initial deposit of money. So how much money is now created from 1000? The total amount of money which is created, that is now 10,000. So 10,000 is now the money supply by the initial deposit of 1000. So the value of credit multiplier is 10. If we write the change in money supply to this side, it will be equal to K into change in deposits. Okay, what is this K? K is equal to 1 over R, and R is what? R is this reserve ratio. What is the reserve ratio in our case? That is 10%. It is 0.1. So if we say K is 1 over R into change in deposits. So if R value is 10%, what will be the value of multiplier? So change in money supply is equal to K into change in deposits, and K is equal to 1 over R and change in deposits, and R we are taking 10%. If you solve it, it will be equal to 0.1. So 1 over 0.1, and there was initial deposit of 1000. How will be the total money supply? If you solve this decimal, there will be 0 on the numerator. So 10 multiplied by 1000, the total money supply goes to 10,000. 10 times money will be created when the reserve ratio is 10%. So if central bank changes this reserve ratio, now if R value is 5%, 5% means 0.05. Okay. Now if R is 0.05 multiplied by 1000, what will be the value of multiplier? Now it is 20 multiplied by 1000. So 20 times money supply will increase if reserve ratio is decreased by the central bank. When central bank asks the commercial bank, okay, decrease your reserve ratio, so what happens? The value of multiplier will be increasing, because now 95% of the deposits will be extended in the form of loans. So, okay, so value of multiplier will increase if reserve ratio is going to decrease, and if reserve ratio is now 20%, like we say reserve is now 20%, central bank asks the commercial bank to have 20% of your liquidity ratio or reserve ratio, then what will be the value of money supply? This is 1 over R, and this is change in deposits or initial deposit, you can see. Okay, now it is 0.2 into 1000. So what is happening now? The value of multiplier will be 5 now. Now 5 times money supply will change. So when the reserve ratio is increasing, the value of multiplier will be decreasing in the money market, and when a reserve ratio is decreasing, it is set by the central bank for the commercial bank liquidity ratio. So when reserve ratio that is going to decrease, the value of multiplier will be increasing, and when reserve ratio is going to increase, the value of multiplier will decrease. Keep it in mind, this is a reserve ratio of one of the deposit, you can see this is a kind of one type of saving account or any kind of deposit. If the deposits are of different types, like there is one deposit which is short-term saving, another reserve ratio is for long-term savings. So as these reserve ratios, they are increasing in the denominator, the value of multiplier will be decreasing. The value of multiplier, that is decreasing when the reserve ratios, they are increasing in the denominator, the value of multiplier will be decreasing. Anyhow, the central bank controls the money supply or advances. In the case of commercial banks or loans, they are controlled by changing the reserve ratio of the commercial banks, how they are going to keep the reserve with them in order to change the money supply in the country. Keep in mind, I said, if there is a 10 multiplier, it does not mean that every time the commercial bank is extending loans in the form of advances by the same ratio as it is set by the central bank. Banks are not extending too many loans because of the two reasons. One reason is that the credit worthiness of the borrowers. If borrowers are not having a good credit history, they are not credit worthiness, then they are not going to have, bank is not going to extend more loans. Okay, another reason is that whenever the borrowers, they think that rate of interest is high to borrow money, so they are not borrowing money. So the two reasons, when borrowers are not interested to borrow money, or the borrowers are not having good credit worthiness, because whatever the money is deposited with the commercial bank, that is actually the liability of the commercial bank, and this is the money of the depositors which bank is using in order to earn profit. So we see over here that due to their liabilities to rise, the banks are not extending too many loans. That means that in future they will be facing a liquidity problem, or there will be a problem of default of the commercial bank whenever more loans are given to non-credit worthiness people, those who are borrowing money and they are not paying back to the bank along with the interest. So the loans, when they are ruined, they are not collected in the form of with interest. So the bank will be facing a liquidity problem, and this will be having a severe liquidity problem, and then central bank will be extending loans as a lender of last resort to the commercial bank. So the first source of money supply is the commercial bank. How commercial bank is able to create more money by using the credit multiplier. This is the main thing, or money multiplier. We have a question in our MCQ most of the time. They have given us two things, that this is the total money supply, this was the initial deposit. What is the credit multiplier or money multiplier of this economy? Sometimes they are asking us to find the credit multiplier, sometimes the multiplier value is given to us and we are asked to find what will be the total money supply in the economy at this multiplier rate, at this credit multiplier, which is the reserve ratio actually set by the central bank for the commercial banks. So keep it in mind, we started our lesson yesterday about the sources of money supply. So the first source I completed today, that is how commercial banks, they are able to create more money in the money market by using its credit multiplier. Now come towards the other part of the source of money supply. This is called what? Open market operation. I said government is borrowing money from the commercial banks, from central bank, or from the individuals, non-banking institutions or individuals. Like we can also lend money to the federal government if we are also the part of buying the bonds, open market operation. Do you know what we mean by bonds? We are familiar of price bonds. So what is happening if we are buying the price bonds which are issued by the federal government through on behalf of the federal government, central bank is issuing them in order to borrow money from the general public, from the individuals. So when we are buying these bonds in order to earn interest or in order to have a price at the maturity of this bond in our economy, so we say we are actually giving loans to the federal government. So when central bank issues bonds to the general public or non-banking institutions, so actually the people, they are giving loans to the federal government. And after 3 months, the federal government will return that price bond or the bonds with interest to the people, those who have lent money to the government. So this is called open market operation, when there is going to be buying and selling of bonds. When central bank sells bonds to the public, it mops up money from the market. So as a result, money which is taken or borrowed from the public, now it is used by the government. Alright. So total money supply does not change. But here, people, if they are holding bonds instead of money, so they are going to earn interest after the maturity of that bond. Okay. So when central bank buys bonds, it is again buying back from the public, then money will be injected to the economy. So by open market operation, the total circulation of money remains same, but central bank can mop up money from the market, or it injects money into the market. Whenever it buys bonds from the public, money is re-injected to the economy, and when it sells bonds, then money is mopped up, it is taken from the people in order to hold cash for the federal government to do its main development projects. So open market operation is having two phases. One is called when bonds are sold to general public. Okay, so in that case, total money supply does not change, but only money is changing hands from public to the federal government in order to perform the federal government projects of development, in order to create more employment opportunities. But when these bonds or securities, they are sold to the banking sector in the form of treasury bills, so that will increase the liquidity, their assets to extend more loans. When their assets are increasing, so they are having ability to extend more loans, and commercial banks, they will be increasing the total money supply in the country by giving more loans to the borrowers. So on the other hand, when bonds are sold to the public, total money supply doesn't change. So when bonds are sold to the commercial banks, I'm writing bonds, you can write the treasury bills. Treasury bills. These are purchased by the commercial banks in an auction, or by discounting value, or by having an auction, you can say. So these bonds, they are held by the commercial bank, so they will be having increasing their assets. So when their assets are increasing, they will be extending more loans in the general public. So money supply can be increased by the commercial banks when they are buying the bonds or treasury bills from the federal government through central bank open market operation. So in that case, money supply in the market will be increasing. Okay. So these treasury bills, they are having a specific way to be auctionized, and then the highest bidder of that, in that auction, he will be given a treasury bill which will be maturing after 3 months. Like there is a treasury bill of 5 million. So in the auction, it is given to the highest bidder of 4.5 million. So at the end of the 3 months, after the completion of 3 months, central bank will repurchase the same treasury bill, and the commercial bank will be given the amount of the face value of 5 million. So 0.5 million will be a profit, you can say, on that treasury bill which is held by the commercial bank. So within that time period, that will be increasing the asset of the commercial bank, so it is going to extend more loans. It is going to have more loans, although its liquidity has decreased because its profit will increase while holding a treasury bill. So commercial banks, they can extend loans whenever they are involved in buying the bonds and securities or treasury bills from the central bank on behalf of the government. Another thing, central bank borrowing. Whenever federal government borrows from the central bank, so how central bank can extend loans to the federal government? It will be printing new notes. Now the currency notes are being printed. So when new notes are printed in the market, so total money supply in the market, that will also be increasing. So central bank borrowing will increase the money supply. Commercial bank borrowing, that will increase the money supply. And credit multiplier from the commercial banks, that will also increase the money supply. Another thing which is going to change the money supply, that is called net capital inflow. Net capital inflow. How this central bank can change the money supply when more money, more hard money, more capital or financial capital is inflowing to the economy from abroad. Like our domestic rate of interest on savings, that is higher than the international rate of interest. So financially, country will be able to attract more finance from out of the country, and that way our net capital inflow, net financial capital inflow will be increasing rather than more money is going out of the country. So when our foreign exchange is increasing, the net money supply that will be printed on behalf of that foreign exchange, that will increase in the country as well. Now what is meant by
9:40?
Okay, that's all for today. I will explain you one very important thing tomorrow, inshallah, that is about a very good thing which is usually coming to our exam nowadays. What it is called, I don't remember its name right now. I have studied it early in the morning. So I will explain it to you by tomorrow what is meant by that. A new thing which is nowadays used in the case of increasing the money supply. I will explain it tomorrow, inshallah. Thank you. This goes around.